Scratch here, and I'm joined by Laura White, who is a LipNV educator, and Scratch's cat, who will be receiving the LipNV No Needle Filler today. Laura, can you talk us through a little bit what will be happening?
Yeah, so we're going to administer the No Needle Filler technique to cat's lips today using hyaluronic acid based filler, just to plump, give a little bit of volume and some hydration. So we're not going mad, we're not creating massive lips today, but we're going to be subtle and natural.
Okay, so would you like to get together?
Yeah, so I'm going to start by loading up my ampule for the pen. So I will move over. So we start here. These are our ampules that the filler is administered using. And we just fill with the hyaluronic acid based filler. We're using 0.3ml ampules with the LipNV pen. And it's a needle-free system, as you can see, no needles at all.
So how does it work without any needles?
It works using air pressure. So it is a pressurised pen. It's very simple technology actually. So it's kinetic energy. We have a pressure gauge here, so we turn down certain number of levels according to how much pressure we want, and it's just got a hammer point inside, so you pull your hand off, fire your button. Simple as that. We refer to it as lock and load. So just fit that into the pen. Okay, so that's ready to go. So I'm going to prep cat's lips just with a little bit of antiseptic.
Has Kat filled out a consultation form?
She has, yeah, we've done a full consultation this morning and no contraindications, which is always great news. Picture of health. So this tastes horrible, I apologise.
Okay.
Just want to be removing any kind of contaminants on the surface of the skin, making sure that we're prepped, but it is disgusting, unfortunately. Okay. It's gross, isn't it?
That's not too bad.
You're very, very polite. Okay. So, I'm going to have myself a couple of damp pads here. So, with my LipNV pen, I'm left-handed, so my operational hand is always my left hand, my supporting hand is always my right hand. I'm going to start by turning the pen down a couple of lines for our pressure. I've locked it in place already, so it's ready to go. And I'm going to just have a look at where I'm going to go first.
And what are you looking for?
I'm looking for veins, blood vessels, anything like that, because obviously we're going to avoid those areas because that will just lead to bruising and swelling. So if you can see any visible veins, you always avoid. Sometimes they're not visible. There's always a very small risk of bruising, but the bruising is reduced. Bruising and swelling is reduced with the no needle method over the needle method. Okay, so going for lip volumisation, I'm going to go into the body of the lip. So it does make you jump. How was that?
Absolutely fine.
Yeah?
All I could feel was the pressure.
It's the pressure and the noise, isn't it?
That's it, completely.
Perfect.
So there's no pain
Oh
involved?
gosh, no, absolutely nothing.
That's what I like to hear.
So why would a client choose the no needle filler over the traditional
Needle method.
method?
A lot of the times, there's a lot of people out there with needle phobia, a lot, and it's put them off the idea of having any kind of filler treatment. So it's nice that we have the option to offer an alternative.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, people who are just scared, it would be a no-go for them. Absolute, not even thinking about it because of needle phobia. So that's one main benefit. Also, it's a softer, you can create a very soft, more natural look. So obviously with the needle practitioners can create all sorts of different looks, I suppose. do softer and more natural. They can also do more extreme, huge lips, that kind of thing. They can fill a lot more kind of line areas on the face. But with the no needle, you can be creating kind of all over volume, softer, but less downtime as well. I have clients who come in and they'll literally have it done on their lunch break and then they'll go back to work. So, which is great for that.
So it's a relatively quick treatment to have?
Yeah, very quick. Once you're kind of up and running, and you're kind of rolling with the treatment in your salon environment, once you've completed your consultation, you could easily be performing the treatment in 15 to 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it is very quick. Yeah. How you doing?
Good.
Perfect. Okay, so every time I administer, I then lock the pen back in place, turn down another couple of lines so that then my hammer's moving up inside the pen, which is then going to be, knock my glasses off, that's then going to knock the hammer and push the striker point in the syringe to push out through the ampule. It's actually quite refreshing in a way to have something that's come to the market that's this amazing kind of advancement in technology that isn't electric.
Yeah.
Because everything relies on electricity, and this is actually a relatively simple idea. It's originally developed for the medical market. It was used for diabetes. So diabetic patients who were constantly causing skin trauma by administering their insulin, the no needle method was developed. So that was what it was for. And as with most things, we've nicked it. Brought it over into the cosmetic and beauty market.
We've got a question from the Pamper Lounge in Longton. Is it only a natural look you can achieve with the LipNV No Needle Filler?
You can layer the product, so you can do multiple treatments, so 2 weeks apart. You can create more volume, and you can create structure and contouring around the lip line, but it's kind of, that becomes a bit more advanced when you're doing it. So with the LipNV course, it's our beginner's course. So you come on, you're learning your basics, but everybody's lips are different. Some people, I have seen some incredible results from some of our technicians who have created beautiful looks, and people who've got an incredibly thin upper lip and they've created great volume. What you have to remember with the no needle method, and really, like personally, I think with any kind of filler method, is people's faces can only hold so much before it starts to look a bit ridiculous. On the natural lip, you've got a line which is known as your wet dry line, and it's where if you kind of look and feel on your own lip, you've got that point where you kind of got the wet inside of your mouth. When you get to the point where you're administering so much filler that's outside, I think you've gone too far. And I have seen like some people, I'm naming no names, I'm not like that, but I've seen people who have had needle filler in the past, and it sounds ridiculous, but all I want to do is go up and like lick their teeth for them. I just think they look like they've got really dry teeth because they can't close their mouths anymore. They've had so much filler. So for me, I think natural is best, but some people do want that kind of more false look, and it can be achievable as long as you're prepared to trust the process. And that's what it is, a process.
Just a reminder what look you're achieving on Kat today.
Yeah, so we're going for a natural look. We're going for plumpness. We're going for a bit of hydration as well. Kat's saying she does suffer with dry lips. And because the filler is hyaluronic acid based, it's going to draw all that water and all that moisture towards the lip area and just really helps with that kind of dryness and dehydration. Okay. I'm going to pop it into the lower lip now.
So LipNV is available via the Creative Beauty Group.
That's correct, yes.
And you touched on the training course just previously. Could you go into a bit more detail about what is involved in that, like how long it is,
Yeah,
what you
of course.
cover?
So ours is a one-day beginner's class for the no needle filler concept. We include a anatomy and physiology pre-learning document as well, because obviously a lot of our people who are coming to train with the no needle concept, for the first time, you're able to move more into the aesthetic field without any kind of medical background. You don't need that additional training, which is fantastic. But obviously, it's a huge responsibility, and we don't want to be sending techs out there who have no idea what they're doing, basically. So we do have that pre-training. It's a one-day qual, so the morning is all theory and learning about the treatment, learning about how we administer it, covering lots of anatomy and physiology, health and safety, learning about your pen, learning about different types of filler. So it's an intense course. And then in the afternoon we do practical, so there's practical demonstration, and then you work on each other or you work on models. And then there are case studies as well. So it's not just that you sit the course and that's it, off you go. We do ask for case studies. So it's an intensive day, but it is really good fun. It's great, and everybody's there because they want to be. Everybody's wanting to learn this new skill. Keep forgetting if I've twisted it because I'm talking. How are you doing, Kat?
Good.
So why would a nail tech, for example, decide to offer this as part of their services?
Quite simply, the market is moving so fast. The industry, everything's going towards aesthetics, and it is, if you don't join in, you get left behind. The no needle market is massively growing. I've had clients coming to me saying, have you heard of this? Are you doing this? And luckily I am. But there's, like I said, there's so many people. If you can offer to your clients something different that they're only going to go elsewhere to look for, then that's money in your pocket, and there's money to be made. There's great profit if you're administering your treatments correctly and you're following your training.
Mm-hmm.
Some more on this side.
And how much would you charge for a lip envy treatment, and are there different grades to it depending on the look?
Yeah, so it's all kind of personal preference. It all depends what filler you're using. The lovely thing about the no needle method is we still use the same fillers that you'd use if you were using a needle, as long as they're within a certain range of milligrams per mil of hyaluronic acid. There's a certain range that's optimum to use with the pen to deliver. So filler prices, it's how long's a piece of string. You can buy some fillers that are really great and affordable, and then you've got other fillers that are cost a fortune. And actually, if you charged, say you were charging £100 per mil, you'd be losing money if you were using these brands. So me personally, I charge in my salon for up to half a mil, £150. From half a mil up to a mil, 190, and then kind of on in £40 increments from that. That is because, like I said, it's a layering process, so I want my clients to come back 2 weeks later so I can layer the product so they get more longevity. I also know, obviously I'm working in a 0.3 mil ampule. Some people, if you have a client that is, they naturally have that histamine reaction, they're going to swell quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to keep administering because they've said, I want 1 mil, and you just keep going, but you can't really see the wood for the trees. You never want to be in that situation. So if they say that their end goal is 1 mil, which I always find really interesting because people come in saying, I want X amount, they have no idea what that actually is going to look like in their face. Because 1 mil in your lips is going to look very different to 1 mil in my lips. They don't know what it means, but they've seen it online, so that's what they're going to ask for, and that's generally what it comes down to. But if you're layering the process, and I'm using 0.3 mil, I'll always show them in a mirror, this is what we've got so far, what do you want to do? You know, because it's down to them, it's their face at the end of the day. I'm the practitioner, I'm a professional, but at the same time it's their face and it's their look. So, and you can always add. It's a lot easier to add than to take away. There is possibility of dissolving, but it's kind of a last resort situation.
Mm-hmm.
another question while you're doing that from Debbie BRGH. Why do you wiggle the pen before you fire the gun?
Okay, so the pen's wiggled after we fire actually. So I line the pen up to where I want to be and get myself in position, and then I wiggle after I've administered. What that's doing is it's kind of micro massaging in place, making sure that we keep that contact and keep the pen where I want it to be.
And we've had quite a few questions about training, but I'm presuming you can find all of the information about where training takes place, where your local educator is, on the Creative Beauty Group website.
Absolutely. creativebeautygroup.co.uk and creativebeautyeducation.co.uk. We've got a new education site launching, which is going to be fantastic. We also have a salon locator launching, because we're going to have an official LipNV website launching, which looks amazing. But if you do training with us, you'll go on that salon locator, because the amount of calls that the girls get in head office that they think it's one about training and it's someone actually going, where can I have this done? Where can I get it? And obviously at the moment it just is a case of us trawling. But if we have a salon locator, so if you've done training with us, head on to the Creative Beauty Group support forum on Facebook, because we have a form on there that you can complete to have your salon details added. What we always want is a bit of support from the company we've trained with. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
In terms of cost to the professional to offer the service, is it an expensive startup treatment? Is it expensive for the pen, for the equipment?
So our training includes the pen. So you get your pen, you get enough product to complete your case studies, and you get 2 ml of filler for the cross-linked filler for after you've completed your case studies, which kind of is enough to get you started. Ongoing, the pen is guaranteed for 1 year, and it should on paper have, I think, 40,000 shots in it.
Oh, wow.
So, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's enough.
Because obviously it's a spring mechanism, they've tested it for that many. Like when you go into IKEA and you see the little machine that squishes the chair, it's that kind of setup. So they test these products. And then the only kind of additional expense, other than your filler, like obviously I said, that can be widely ranging, is your ampules. And we sell the ampules at the Creative Beauty Group. So when you're hopping on to buy your gel polish, you can, while I'm there, I'll grab some ampules. That's what we want. We want people to find it convenient, that they don't have to go searching, trawling the internet looking for these products. So, as I said, there's minimal bruising, swelling, bleeding. In fact, that's it. That's all you've had the whole time. And that's literally just from like the injection points, let's say. Just where I've wiped away. So, there's nothing. How do they feel? Just normal?
Yeah, just normal.
Yeah, perfect. Right, I'm going to go and do a little bit of lip contour, just into your Cupid's bow. And this always gives a fantastic result.
Okay, you're starting to get used to the pressure, the feeling of it, the
Yeah,
more that the treatment goes on.
definitely.
I have to say, you're a perfect client.
It is a strange sensation, but once you've had the first one, that's it. It
Once
really
you know what to
isn't.
expect.
Yeah. There's literally no pain, no nothing. It's just the sound.
Now the question, is it hard to get the lips symmetrical?
It depends if they're symmetrical to start with. Most people have quite unsymmetrical faces. So that's another reason why we work in a two-part process, because as you start administering and going for symmetry, you start to get swelling. On the majority of people, you're going to have a certain amount of swelling, which is why we work in two processes. So I always say to my clients, they're not done till they're done. It's a process. So symmetry, like here, I've just administered into the Cupid's bow. One side has swelled slightly more than the other. So immediately it's like, oh, well, do I now go and put more in the other side? No, because I probably don't need to. If I put more in the other side, I always try and work. Kat's face is quite symmetrical to start with. She's got quite even lips. So in my initial kind of analysis, I checked that. So I'm working even numbers, so even shots either side, because that way at least I know I'm administering the same amount of filler in each side. If she had unevenness to start with that I was trying to balance out, I would kind of work on the unevenness first, so to speak. I'd always start on the uneven side, like the kind of less full side, so that you can kind of start to administer the filler before the swelling begins. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So when would you not be able to perform the treatment on a client? When would you have to turn somebody away?
So there are, as with any treatment, there are contraindications. With this, because it is, it's classed as non-invasive, but we are still breaking the skin. There's certain things that will be contraindications. Absolutely no on 18s, absolutely no on pregnant or breastfeeding, because you're administering something into the body. Yeah. We don't know how that would metabolise. Also, people who are pregnant and breastfeeding, they metabolise anything so much quicker that it just breaks down and be gone. Anyone who suffers with kind of active skin infections is a no-go. There's certain things that are kind of an advisory that you might want to get a doctor's note, things like that. People who are on blood thinners, they need to have got permission from their GP or their specialist to cease taking them for up to 7 days before. There's also other things like eating garlic, drinking alcohol, smoking. These are sort of things that you want to minimise around the time of having the treatment, because they do thin your blood, so your chance of bruising or your chance of bleeding is higher. So, but it's not an absolute no-no with those, it's just wind it in a bit. I have to say, for some nail techs it is quite funny, because if you only do nails and you don't do beauty, you've never had that thing of touching another person's face. And I remember when I've had students who are new to industry for nails, and getting used to holding someone's hand is quite weird, because you know, usually you hold your children's hands, or you hold your partner's hands, but you don't hold a perfect stranger's hand. And with this, I'm telling people to climb inside someone else's mouth. And so, you know, it is a big change for some people. But you're just doing that to support, because obviously if I push just straight onto the lip, you've got teeth underlying, you've got the jaw, and you don't want to cause pain to your client, because it will. Are there any areas that you think you feel more than other areas? Or is it all pretty much?
No, in all honesty, it sort of just feels quite even, and if anything, it's more of the case of actually having my mouth touched, like you said before. It's quite an alien
having some crawl all over
thing.
your face.
So it's more of that sensation I'm getting kind of used to, but really no.
Perfect.
You said the course is a beginner's course. Do you need any qualifications prior to?
No, so there's actually no prerequisite for this, because we offer that pre-learning document training in the course. There is no official prerequisite, which is amazing, quite frankly. For the first time we can administer these treatments. As long as we've got the good training, we don't have to be a medic beforehand, because they're categorising it, the insurance company's categorising it as non-invasive. When it first came out, they had no idea what we were all talking about, and they said, oh no, I don't know what that is. We'll lump you straight in with all the medics and charge you for your insurance, and they've suddenly worked out what it is and it's come down in line, so it's actually made your insurance really affordable. So it is an affordable treatment to invest in.
So you mentioned earlier that you would expect a client to come in, say 2 weeks later after you've done the LipNV treatment. Is that like a regular 2 weeks, or after time does the effect start to last longer?
Well, it's to achieve the result that you're looking for. So if they want bigger, you'd never administer more than 1 ml at a time. So me personally, I don't like to administer more than 0.6 at any one go, just because, like I said, you start to get the swelling, you start to have a bit of distortion in the shape, so you want to do that. Working on the facial lines, I'll administer more because it depends how many lines they've got, what we're working on, what we're creating. But in the lips, I would do 0.6 ml in one go, and then bring them back in 2 weeks later. If after they've had, say, another 0.6, they still want bigger, bring them back in 2 weeks later till you achieve what you're looking for. The first time they have it done, the results may only last 8 to 12 weeks on some people if they metabolise it quickly. However, when they then come back in to have it re-volumised, let's say, the results will last longer because you're doing those building blocks, you're layering the product on itself.
Okay.
Okay. Two more shots left. Also, the aftercare for this treatment is really, really simple for your clients. They shouldn't have to really worry about anything. No smoking for 24 hours after, just because obviously it can affect healing. It heightens your risk of infection, and no heat treatments or anything, sauna, steam room, things like that. No very hot or very cold drinks for the first kind of 12 hours, just because the sensation can be slightly different, and you also don't want to bring out more swelling or anything. So obviously heat will do that. We asked our clients to leave their lips alone if they can. Hardest thing in the world. When you're awake, you will be fiddling with them. You'll be unable to leave them alone. I have to say though, as soon as people go to sleep, they'll wake up the next day and they'll feel completely different because they've actually left them alone. So you've got more chance of swelling if you fiddle about with them. But I know you'll fiddle about with them because everybody does.
How long does the swelling typically last for?
Generally sort of 2 to 3 days for most people.
Okay.
Some people you'll wake up the following day and it's gone down. I had mine done, and as we all do, we immediately ignore all of our own advice. And I went home after a very, very long day and washed my face with a very, very hot flannel and pulled it away from my face and looked like something off of Geordie Shore. They were enormous because obviously heat equals swelling. So I very quickly realised I should not be doing that. Woke up the next day and they were absolutely fine. So I'm just massaging gently now, just to kind of make sure that the product is evenly placed. Like I said, with the pen method, the no needle, the product is administered in more of a spray than a sort of a lump, so it should sit quite nicely exactly where you want it, as long as you're directional with your application. Some people sometimes get histamine reactions, so at the kind of insertion points they will get sort of micro swelling, but that is literally just where it's happened, that will go down. So it's not like lumps of filler, it is just micro swelling in those areas. Okay, so we have had 0.3 ml.
How does that feel for you, alright?
Yeah, good. I'm excited to see them now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So the advice that I give my clients: just apply lip balm regularly, a petroleum-free one if you can. Try and avoid things like Vaseline, because with products like Vaseline, all they do is trap your natural moisture from escaping. They don't put moisture in, and the lips don't have oil glands, so they don't have any natural moisture, which is why they get chapped so easily. So it's something more kind of vegetable-based. Even I've had clients use shea butter, coconut oil, something like that, just so that you're kind of applying it in a little bit of a massaging motion, and that will just keep them hydrated and plump. Well done.
And it's not just lips, is it, that the LipNV No Needle Filler can
No, that's
apply?
right. So with the no needle filler concept, we can do facial lines as well. So we work on nasolabial folds, marionette lines. One of our techs the other day did an incredible job. Her mum had a big line on her chin, completely gone. It's fantastic. And we do have new courses coming as well, but I don't know if I can say anything, so I'm not going to say anything at all about those. But we've got lots of exciting things in the pipeline.
Let's have a look at these results. For anyone watching via Facebook, you can check it out on our Insta story, the close-ups, and we'll be posting some before and afters on our website shortly.
Okie dokie, so if we've not had any more questions from anybody watching, then for more information please do go to the Creative Beauty Group website, and for information on training, whereabouts all the training dates are and when they are, and if it's something that you're interested in, be sure to look for more information there. And Scratch will also be putting out a bit more information about LipNV in a future issue of the magazine, so be sure to keep an eye out for that.